Well, here we are once again. I'm willing to bet that what I'll be talking about today needs no introduction, but in case you do need it, I made a whole video on it when it initially happened. And long story short, a guy by the name of Under The Mayo made an Ultrakill review where he claimed that the game is unbalanced because he chose to use the weakest gun in the game and beat his head against a brick wall until it breaks. And yes, it is about as nonsensical as it sounds. Not only that, but at the same time he also insulted people who would tell him to have fun in a video game, made a board game to mock Ultrakill, and then sold it at a higher price than the game itself, all in a single video. Yes, you heard that right. In his first ever video featuring Ultrakill, he instantly chose hostility, and then when people called him out after he made 2 more videos, one of which I responded to, in which he was doubling down, lying and insulting the player base, he decided to make one final video where he played the victim before claiming to be done with the drama. And well, since then, I thought Tavarish Mayonnaise legitimately moved on from all of that. I got some of his fanboys trying to expose me by not making any points, and I made fun of them for some easy money, but other than that, Under The Mayo himself didn't do anything to perpetuate the drama. Or so I thought. As it turns out, he was still using the same disingenuous tactics to argue with people in his comments by labeling anyone who doesn't agree with him as a quote, brain-dead Ultrakill fan. No, not fanboy, fan specifically. Yes, there is a difference. Now, this wouldn't be as bad if he were just trying to bait a reaction or something like that, but he is calling people stupid Ultrakill fans on videos and topics where Ultrakill was not even remotely related or relevant, because no one could ever dare to criticize Mayo unless they are just Ultrakill fanboys. Literally the perfect definition of a delusional narcissist, and it's really fucking pathetic. On top of that, he also made a video trying to milk the drama but failed miserably at it. And now he is back once again trying to throw shade at Ultrakill by, once again, you guessed it, lying about the game. I mean, he's definitely no stranger to it. Remember how in his Act 2 review, he said he played on Violent, quote, like the first time. Yeah, well, the first time he in fact did not play on Violent, as exposed by his own fucking video. So on top of being a liar, he is also a very bad one at that. But then again, if you know anything about him, this is all old news to you. Now, all of this prior information, except for the most recent part, I have been aware of for a few months, and it's crazy too, since I kept telling people, over and over again, that Under The Mayo is done with the drama, that he has no hand in it, and that it's only people who he likely doesn't even want in his audience that are needlessly perpetuating it. And well, here I am looking like a fucking retard for that one, so that's what I get for believing Mayo is a grown adult. But realistically, I still wouldn't have made a video on any of this if it wasn't for a clip in one of his recent videos which just removed all doubt that he is done with the drama and learned from his mistakes, but no. Despite having thousands of comments and multiple responses on YouTube by multiple people, he is still going to keep doubling down to the point where I just can't pretend he's done with the drama when he just keeps proving the opposite at every turn. So my bad for thinking Mayo was better than this, I guess. So the clip I will be responding to is in his DMC2 review, and right off the bat you can notice how he is trying to equate it to Ultrakill in the thumbnail, which is already a false equivalency. One is a game where you can sunlock a boss by pressing one button. One. And the other is a game where the tutorial is easy. For those who haven't played either, DMC2 is the former and Ultrakill is the latter. I should also mention, I haven't played DMC2, so I'm taking his word for it on this one, for all it's worth. And I apologize in advance for the eye cancer b-roll, but to further prove my point on all of this, I will be playing Doom Eternal, a game Mayo frequently decrites, on Ultra Violent, the second hardest difficulty, even though I could have gone with Hurt Me Plenty considering Violent is the third hardest difficulty in Ultrakill. And I will be doing so with only the sticky bomb combat shotgun, since using more weapons to kill enemies faster is not fun, according to Mayo. And if it works, also according to Mayo. If I'm ever low on health and ammo, I can just get it all from the zombie guy walking towards me at half a mile an hour that is in every arena constantly respawning. Therefore, according to Mayo, there is no need to switch weapons because the game doesn't require me to. And even though Mayo punched during his gameplay of Ultrakill, I will not be using not only blood punches, but I will also not use any grenades, ice bombs or the crucible. And I will not be using up a single 1-up. And I will ignore ammo pickups. and I will frequently stop dashing, and I will frequently miss shots. And despite the fact Mayo played Act 1 of Ultrakill, I will be playing an Act 3 level of Doom Eternal, and one of my least favorite ones in fact. And I will be playing after not opening the game for over 4 months, and I will be at times playing with my food, and on top of all of that, I will not be using the portals in the arena. How about that? So if Mayo doesn't either concede on his take on Ultrakill, or doesn't claim how the entirety of Doom Eternal's main campaign is completely unbalanced, then he is an even bigger hypocrite than he already is. And if he claims the latter, then he is completely fucking retarded. But now let's also take a look at this clip, shall we?
So this is a universally agreed on bad game, I see that. Fans of the series know it's bad, so I don't see much point in going into a 20-minute analysis of its failures 20 years after the fact. But it does leave me with a question. Why does everyone hate how easy this game is? Because in my interactions with fans of DMC, Ultrakill, Bayonetta, and other games that create communities of people obsessed with style meters and ranking systems and combos, I constantly hear that it's the player's fault if they're bored.
You see, it's simple. That's because, at least in Ultrakill, that is your fault as the player. The game presents you more than a fair challenge, and trying to beat it in the most boring way imaginable is the equivalent to beating your head against a brick wall until it breaks. And you know this, and it shows from your b-roll since you are frequently at low health. And it is also why you gave up on trying to beat the entire game with only the default piercer, and had to engage with the rest of the mechanics to progress. So this is entirely a false equivalency.
On this channel, I have regularly criticized style meter games for being poorly balanced with terrible AI and just being easy to mash through mindlessly without the game pushing you into playing more intelligently and more stylishly to survive.
Which doesn't apply to Ultrakill since you do have to be stylish to survive, as you clearly experienced, so where is the problem?
What is the problem?
I've heard that this isn't a problem, because the point of these games isn't for them to be challenging, the point is for you to go in and experiment and find fun stuff to do.
I said it in my first response almost 2 years ago, and I'll say it again. Can the game not push you into both? And I feel like I know where the problem is with this guy. He thinks style meters are a substitute for gameplay, and therefore, he's trying to project his own mindset onto the developers of these games, without realizing that both good games like DMC2 and Ultrakill, and bad games like DMC2 can have style meters. I feel like this was pretty fucking obvious information, but I guess Resident Retard here didn't get that one.
You don't need to be punished by the game for playing in a boring way. That's supposedly a childish way to think.
Number 1, show me one comment that said that, because I feel like this is straw man. Number 2, boredom can also be a form of punishment because, get this, entertainment products are made for you to entertain yourself. And in the case of Ultrakill, you chose to create the problems for yourself and intentionally play in the most boring way just so you can use it as a pathetic gotcha against the game. You lost the argument on that one close to 2 years ago, so I don't know why I even have to repeat all of this, but I guess his ego is just too massive to let go of that one. It's really sad, honestly.
It's my fault for picking the boring option. I'm sorry to bring up the Ultrakill fiasco again, but why is it that when I say the starting pistol of Ultrakill is already so powerful that there's no need to use other weapons for most of Act 1, that's controversial, but every video I see criticizing DMC2 talks about how the pistols are way too powerful and they trivialize the combat?
Because you were lying. The default piercer can effectively kill only the weakest enemies in the game. Even something like Maurice Ultrakill, the most bullied enemy in the entire game, is going to take 2 eternities to kill with only the default piercer. Meanwhile, the shotgun can kill it in just a few seconds, or a single coin instantly. Therefore, if you truly had a problem with the starting weapon being in that state, you would have complained about the same thing in other games, most notably Doom Eternal's combat shotgun, which is way stronger than the default piercer in both raw power and the context of being able to destroy weak spots. But surprise surprise, you didn't do that because of your heavy bias, and therefore it's a double standard. Also, if you were truly sorry for bringing up the Ultrakill drama again, you wouldn't be constantly bringing it up at every turn where it's not even remotely relevant, plain and simple.
Well, then just don't use the pistols, right? That's what I've been told. If you're using an easy, boring option that works, it's on you. It's not the game's fault for being unbalanced.
Once again, this really feels like a straw man. The actual point being made in regards to Ultrakill is that the default piercer only remains viable with the occasional alt fire, but that it's not that good, and if you get bored using it, then you should consider not boring yourself because, once again, you'll be replacing that thing with a slab variant as soon as physically possible. But who knows, maybe there was some random motherfucker with 3 extra chromosomes who was genuinely making the argument that the default one is overpowered. But then again, I've heard a lot of terrible arguments against Mayo on that one, the most common being because of the lore, which ignores every law of physics to make it work. Yet I've not seen a single argument like that as far as I remember.
That's what I've heard. I don't agree with that, but I'm curious what the difference is here. Setting aside the other things that make DMC2 bad, just talking about the stylish combo-based gameplay. It seems like DMC2 is the shining example of what I've been talking about.
And it's the only example since, once again, none of this applies to the other games you mentioned, at least those I am somewhat knowledgeable in. You're walking at a snail's pace and holding/spamming one button, so please tell me how that is even remotely similar to you getting your ass kicked in other games because you chose to play them stupidly. I mean, look at my b-roll. Is this final Slayer gate of the game supposed to be hard, Mayo? Is ultra violence supposed to be hard as the second hardest difficulty, Mayo? I am not being challenged, Mayo. If the combat shotgun works, why switch to any other weapon when I have infinite ammo with the chainsaw? Do you finally see how stupid that is?
Cause I've seen DMC2 combo videos. You can do some pretty cool stylish stuff, especially with the extended air juggles and aerial gunshots. You've got all these ways to customize your devil trigger using guns and grounded combo strings. You can have fun in DMC2. You can experiment and find crazy fun combo juggles and stylish ways to kill all the enemies in the room, if you choose to. So what's the difference?
I really don't feel like repeating myself with how many times I explained this in numerous different ways.
Is it not the player's fault for thinking DMC2 is boring if they play it in a boring way?
Yes, that's kinda how purposefully boring yourself works. Game balance is one thing, but purposefully playing in a way that's boring to you is something completely different. You can have fun in poorly balanced games, and can be bored or frustrated in games with good balance. Whoop de fucking do. And if you cannot tell that you're being bored and strive to change that, you have some deeper issues and you should probably get that checked.
What's the difference between DMC2 and DMC5? A game I like very much, but where I got a lot of pushback for saying the first playthrough starting difficulty was way too easy to pass by mindlessly mashing.
Bruh, if you call what you're doing in that b-roll as mindlessly mashing, then I'm Santa Claus. Because mindless mashing does not look like that.
I heard over and over that I don't understand DMC, that the point of the game is to be stylish, not to be challenged. It was apparently my fault for playing in a boring way, even though it was incredibly effective since the game was so damn easy. I'm not complaining about hypocrisy here, I'm just genuinely curious why it's okay for DMC5 and Bayonetta and Ultrakill's first act to be largely passable using terrible mashy spammy gameplay, and it's my fault for being bored because I'm supposed to be paying attention to the style meter or ranking system or whatever.
Once again, compare the gameplay we've shown of any of these free games to DMC2 and you'll instantly be able to tell they're nowhere near similar. You clearly had to do some combos to get by in DMC5 and Bayonetta, even if you didn't realize it. Besides, I recall you wanting torture attacks in Bayonetta to restore health, aka glory kills from Doom Eternal. So is the game so easy you can mindlessly mash, or is it not to the point you need more health? Make up your fucking mind. In other terms, double standard number 10 billion.
But in DMC2, it's also very easy to pass using terrible mashy spammy gameplay, and people consider the combat to be boring and bad, even though you can still do flashy stylish combos you want to be doing in a DMC game.
How long do you guys think it will take until he realizes there is a difference between a game being easy and beating your head against a brick wall until it breaks? Seriously, he found one example, one, of a poorly balanced game with a style meter, and he's trying to project it onto every other game that happens to feature a style meter. It is really fucking pathetic.
There's a ranking system at the end of every level, there's a style meter, and surely trying to maintain them as high as possible equals playing faster. So why isn't it the player's fault for finding DMC too boring?
It's the game's fault for being unbalanced. It's the player's fault for being bored because they choose to be bored. There is a difference. It's the same reason why the motherfuckers who claim how gaming is dead only lock themselves to playing games they don't like. If you want to have fun in DMC2, you absolutely can, but that won't magically remove all of its objective flaws. I seriously don't understand the mindset of paying for a video game and then wasting your valuable time to purposefully be bored. Any normal person would either try to make the most of it or refund the game, or at the very least stop playing. Surely that concept is not hard to grasp, but let's see how many more retards are gonna yell at me for this one.
It's a serious question. I'm not trying to start a fight here, guys. I know there's a fundamental philosophical disagreement between myself and the Style Meter fans, but this is not meant to be hostile. I just want to know what you personally think the difference is, and I invite you to comment below. I'll check out what people say. I just ask that everyone state their views calmly and respectfully.
Alright, Mayo, alright. Listen, alright? I know someone's probably gonna send this to you, so let me make one thing abundantly clear. If you truly didn't want to come off as hostile and wanted to understand all of this during the whole Ultrakill fiasco, you would not have taken every opportunity to take shots at the player base, and at that point, all civil discourse went completely out the window. And constantly bringing it up when it's nowhere near relevant almost 2 years later does not scream, I want a civil discussion. Now, I obviously do not hate you nor anyone I talk about on this channel over something like video game bad takes. All the little jabs here are purely for comedic effect or emphasis. So, you have countless arguments here and in many different response videos and comment sections on YouTube. You can ignore mean words and morons all you want, but to try and invalidate all arguments over something like a few words you don't like is just completely disingenuous. Well then, with that I'm gonna end it off here. Like I said, if Mayonnaise finally wants to let go of his ego and listen to the arguments being presented, he is more than welcome to, but I'll guess we'll see what comes of that. So I guess the moral of the story here is, Ultrakill bad because DMC2 exists. But seriously though, all this shit should have been long dead and buried, but for whatever reason Mayo just keeps bringing it up and trying to beat that dead horse, and I really don't understand why. I mean shit, I literally criticized someone who was trying to respond to Mayo's Act 2 review a few months ago, for the same reasons, so I'm gonna keep the same energy for Mayonnaise. Sorry not sorry. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. Be sure to like and subscribe to boost me in the algorithm. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.